G'day, how's it going? Mike here. So today we got our solar system installed. Can't show you because it's currently night time. So we've got 6.6 kilowatts added to our one kilowatt system. So the aim right now is to get the system ready, or not the system, the miners ready to run entirely off solar. So the plan is, part one is I'm going to install this timer. What actually is the time? Good question. About 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. So I've set the timer to start from 11 a.m. and go through till 5 p.m. So it's at 5 or 6 hours or something, 6 hours. So you might be thinking, oh, you're not going to make as much only mining 6 hours a day. But the truth is, at the moment, because of the price of electricity going up and the price of crypto crashing, I'm only making about $2 a day. So I'll actually be making more mining for free for 6 hours than mining for 24 hours and having to pay for electricity. So anyway, let's get started. Part one. I'm going to put the timer on. That's a bit of a pain that it's blocking the meter now. Gee, that's great. No, I'll have to do something about that later. So anyway, we can bypass the timer by switching it on. And as I was hoping, yep, they have both turned on automatically. So in the BIOS, I've set them to after AC off to automatically power on. So that's the first, or I guess second thing you have to do after installing a timer. So that way, every time the power is applied, provided the power supply switch is on, they will fire up and start booting into Windows. So I've already been playing around with my batch files, and I've got the little mini miner working on the automatic script. So I've still got to set up the big miner on the automatic script. So I'm going to do that by remote desktop. So I'm just going to go inside and continue from there. Alright, so here we are on my desktop. So we're going to go into the remote viewer. Now, if I go onto my mini miner, I should find that that has successfully started up. There we go. That we got should be 1, 2, 3, 4 windows. Yeah, very good. So this batch file's kicked off, and once it gets to 6 hours, the script will automatically shut down Windows. Actually, that reminds me of one thing. I was going to set the timer to 7 hours, so it'll shut down. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like, the script will tell it to turn off 6 hours after it starts, and then the timer will turn off after the 7th hour. But because they'll be shut down, there'll be no power use anyway. But I need that timer to kickstart it the next morning, otherwise it won't automatically fire back up. Now you might think, oh, why not just have the miners shut down and have Windows on standby? But they still draw like 350 watts even when they're idle combined, which is too much overnight. The idea is to use no power unless there's solar. So let's go ahead and shut all this down. Yep, it's currently night time, so this has to get shut down. So yeah, come tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. this will automatically fire up. Shut down. Alright, now we're going to open up a new one for the big miner. And here we are. So the script isn't set up on this one yet, so let's go through the script first up. So I'm just going to copy my unedited script. So I've got this script available on my blog site, as with all my other scripts and so forth. Startup scripts. So I've got two versions. These are exactly the same two versions on the blog site. One just as startup, so if you want to shut your computers down however you want, or if you don't even want to shut them down, just if there's a blackout and they come back up, then that's the one you use. But if you want to start up and shut down, that's one to use. So we're going to copy that to the desktop. Load, yes. That should appear on the desktop. Alright, now I've got the folder here. Just go to edit. I mean, we need to change everything around anyway. But I've got the folder here. Just got to change the user account. My miners is mine. You just need to change to whatever your user account is. So this folder, anything that you place in that folder will automatically run when Windows starts. So what we're going to do is put this script into that folder, which is this one here. So we'll leave that window open, move it to the side. Alright, so what I do is I move it into that folder. I then create a shortcut so I can, actually what I'll do, I'll make the folder as a shortcut, so that way it just makes it easier. Alright, so now we can just, anytime we want to edit that file, we'll just go into here. Yeah, drag and drop anything else in here you like to start up automatically too on Windows. We go edit. Alright, now let's start at the top. So place this file, yada yada yada. Yep, so you need to disable user account control. Now, normally I'm not a big fan of this, but some miners, such as T-Rex, in order to use their clock locking features, need to have administrator. So usually I just right click on the batch files and go run it as administrator. It's no big deal. I've had them run for months on end without crashing. But we can't do that because this needs to be automatic every day. So unless I'm prepared to be there at 11 AM every day, which I'll be at work, so I won't be able to do that, we need to disable user account control so that when things like T-Rex runs, it can start unattended. So I'm going to work out a better way to do this in the future, but for now this is the way I'm going to be doing it. I also suggest you take an image of your Windows install, because if anything goes crazy, or someone manages to hack in somehow, you can just quickly drop that image back on. We'll go through that in another video maybe, if just Google it. That's what everyone does. Alright, so we set up search for locations of XXX in the script and change to your Windows account name. So yeah, so I just need to change it to mine. Now up here, the auto start mining script, yep, so I've got this section here, creates a log file. Every time this batch file runs, it puts a log file on your desktop called miner startup log.txt, which will appear down here conveniently. So that way you can see the date and time every time you have a restart, just in case you have multiple restarts or it's doing something bizarre. You can just check that log file. Or if it shuts down after you get home from work or anything, you come home late at night, you can fire it up and make sure it's been starting up each day. And then we've got starting miners. So down here you have your folder location for the miners. So the easiest way to change that is to go into the folder where your miners are, or your batch files anyway. Yep, that's right. Just click in there, go copy. Now make sure you don't erase the CD. Just paste that in, Control V. So on this, the big mining rig, I'm only mining one instance of T-Rex. So I've just got a note here saying you need to change, using the start command, we got mining 1, 0. Just make sure you change that to a consecutive number. But we don't need to worry about any of that, so we're just going to remove that. Alright, so we're going to go find the batch file that we're going to run under the mine folder, which is currently mining BTC on 2 miners for the time being, while Ethereum's still a thing. Nope, not copy. We're going to copy that file name. Just hold down Shift and press right key to highlight the whole thing. Control C. We're just going to paste that in there. Alright, just checking, make sure I've done this alright. Yep. Alright, so and then down the bottom here we got the auto shutdown area. So 60 seconds is 1 minute, 3600 seconds 1 hour. I'll set it for a default 6 hours. I've done these times here so that you can, if you want it to do so many hours and minutes, you just add those numbers together. 6 hours is 21600. So if you do the command shutdown -s-t for time 21600, as soon as Windows counts, or the shutdown command counts that, it'll shut down Windows. So that should be good to go. So what we're going to do now, just making sure I haven't missed anything. Alright, save that. Now we're going to go reboot. And my daughter is turning the printer on and off next to me for some reason. What are you trying to do? It was already turned on. You just turn off and on twice. Kids. Alright, let's shut down, restart. Restarting, and it's just going to hang out. Something about type V and C. It doesn't always automatically pick it up when it starts again. It kind of just sits there and restarting. So just going to close that window, close that. Just take a minute to connect. Waiting. Let's give it another minute. $7.59. Yeah, it's funny. The big rig's a little bit slower to boot up than the other one. There we go. Also recommend you change the default if you're using type VNC. Make sure you don't use the default or no password when you install it, because that's just, you're inviting people to hack in there. I still haven't finished my script for modifying Windows 10. I'm actually gonna make some major changes to the firewall rules to make it significantly more secure if all you're doing on installs Windows is mining. So there we go, auto startup mining script is run, log the current date and time. So here's the text file I was telling you about earlier. See, mining started. Yeah, it's currently 8 o'clock. I should probably go change my timer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I just add a 30-second delay because if you don't want all this to start, you just want to go into Windows to check something. It just gives you that window to press Control C and cancel all the miners starting up. Here we go. I have missed something, which is very good to show you. So see, you can't set the clock locks, so we're just going to close that. Now we have to disable user account control. Hang on. Which, like I said, I'm not a real fan of doing this, but until I find a better way. Type in the word user in the search bar. Alright, so we're going to turn it off and make our system really unsafe. And it'll be alright as long as everything is kind of locked down. You know, the likelihood of getting hacked and someone actually installing something is pretty low. I guess if you've got a computer that's not set up properly, not hardened properly, then you are opening yourself up to a lot of risks. Alright, so we got the miners are in here, T-Rex. So that's where I keep the executable. So right click on your miner, go properties, compatibility, and run as administrator. Alright, so the good thing about doing it that way, you don't have to worry about your batch files, because you can't run batch files or command files anymore as an administrator. You used to be able to, but now you can't. So if we run this now, so when Windows starts up, all it's going to do is start this command file, so we don't have to actually reboot the system. So let's run that. And you can continue, and it should work. So if it comes up with that unable to lock clocks error, then it's not working. It's looking pretty good so far. Core clock locked, core clock locked. And yeah, looks like it's starting up fine. So that's it. Now I can just shut that down as long as the timer, so the mechanical timer determines what time the miner turns on. And having in the batch file, like I showed you, having that set to 6 hours, so exactly 6 hours after it starts, it will shut down again. So with the timer, you could have the timer shut down hours later. It doesn't really matter. My daughter's just knocking things around. What? You're a turkey. Why did you even do that?
I didn't mean to.
You did. I saw you punch it and then it fell down.
I flipped turkey.
Go away. Now I've lost my train of thought now. Go away. Alright, what was I saying? Yeah, timer. So it doesn't matter what time the timer is told to turn off. You could make it 10 PM because the shutdown command in the batch file will turn the computer off entirely, and there will be very, very tiny amount of standby power, maybe a couple of watts. But I'll just set it probably an hour and a half after it shuts itself down. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you set up Windows to mine on solar. So yeah, the point of this is you're mining during the day when there's solar. If you want to adjust your times, you just adjust your numbers in the batch file, the time you want to run it for, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, depending on the time of year. So we finished installing our solar today, so I'm just going to trial 6 hours a day and just look at our power use and kind of adjust it from there, plus or minus. Like if we have a lot of excess power we're putting into the grid, then I'll, obviously mine for a little bit longer. And if we're not putting much into the grid, we'll wind it back a couple hours. So yeah, hope you found this useful. I know a lot of people use Hive OS and all this other stuff, but I use Windows at work, and I'm pretty familiar with all the script commands and everything, so I tend to set up Windows. I think if you can close all the back doors and make it secure, then it's as good as any other operating system, really. Alright, so that's all. Take care, and I'll catch you next video. Catch you later.